Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the newly formed Ududuwa Nation.
àti adúláwọ̀ tí ń bẹ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà àti tó ń bẹ nílẹ̀ Oòduà àti tó ń bẹ ní Dahomey Republic of Benin àti ti Togo àti ti Ghana gbogbo àwọn tí ń bẹ ní ìlú Caribbean tí ń bẹ l'Amẹ́ríkà tí ń bẹ ní Portuguese land títí tó fi dé ilẹ̀ Ukraine àti gbogbo ilẹ̀ Russia ayé àtijọ́ ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò tòní kò kí n pé ṣe dáadáa lẹ́wà gbogbo lè ń tọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe ìlérí fún ìlànà a máa tò lẹ́sẹẹsẹ ni nítorí pé kíní kan ló so mọ́ kíní kan tó fi ṣe kíní kan tó fi rí bákan tí ò fi lọ déédéé gbogbo bí ò ṣe lọ déédéé yẹn gbogbo rẹ̀ pátápátá la máa ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ fún ara wa gbogbo bí ò ṣe rìn bó ṣe yẹ kó rìn gbogbo bí ò ṣe rí bó ṣe yẹ kó rí gbogbo bí ò ṣe tò gbogbo bí ò ṣe tò gbogbo rẹ̀ pátápátá la máa sọ nípa ẹ̀ ẹ kálẹ́ ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ẹ káàárọ̀ tó bá yẹ pé àárọ̀ lẹ́yìn wà níbi tẹ́ wà ẹ kú déédéé ìwòyí tó bá yẹ pé ìwòyí náà ní gbogbo ẹ̀ wọ́dà àárọ̀ ọ̀sán alẹ́ ìwòyí náà ní gbogbo ẹ̀ ó kó gbogbo ẹ̀ ní àkópọ̀ ẹ kálẹ́ o ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ẹ kú àsìkò yìí ẹ kú bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí ilẹ̀ Oòduà ó máa tètè dé ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ǹjẹ́ tí ẹ bá ń gbọ́ mi ẹ bá mi tẹ kíní òun kí n mọ̀ pé ń gbọ́ mi nítorí pé dáhùn pé mi ò gbọ́ra mi mọ́ létí ara mi o. ṣé ń gbọ́ mi ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi gbogbo. ṣé ń gbọ́ mi. n fẹ́ wo ó dáhùn pé kíní yẹn ti ṣe bó ṣe wù ú létí mi ò gbọ́ dáadáa mọ́ tí bàbá bá lè máa fi dé ó máa di wàhálà ni ó wà plug properly there ní abẹ́ńkọ́ ṣó wà plug properly. yà ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi tẹ́ bá ti ń gbọ́ mi ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pé tí bàbá bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ̀rọ̀ mi ò ní gbọ́ wọn ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré fi ọgbọ́n ọnú ṣe kí a ṣe kó rí bó ṣe yẹ kó rí nítorí tí ò bá rí bó ṣe yẹ kó rí nísìnyí mi ìmọ̀dí tó ṣe pé gbàtà bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní gbogbo ẹ̀ wá fẹ́ dojúrú bí ẹsẹ̀ télọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ọlọ́run àánú á bá wọn wí á bá wọn jà gbogbo àwọn tí ò bá fẹ́ kó ṣeé ṣe ọlọ́run á gbàgbà lọ́wọ́ wọn tálẹ̀ yìí àti ṣínà àti mórí yìí jẹ́ tí ò sí ẹni tó máa lè yá mọ́ ní agbára ọlọ́run Elédùà ẹ jẹ́ kí n wò bóyá mo lè jù sí ibòmíì láti gbọ́ ó ṣòro díẹ̀ nǹkan tí ẹ wá rí bluetooth mi gangan lórí system mi rárá ẹ má bínú sí mi o mò ń gbọ́ yékéyéké tẹ́lẹ̀ ìgbà tí a fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà ni ó dàbí pé mo fa kébù yẹn jù ló ṣe rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ṣùgbọ́n síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ Ọlọ́run á gbà fún wa a ṣe é ṣe ìrọ́lọ̀ tá ń pa irọ́ rìṣùn pa mo ní headphone nìkan láìkí máa wọ headphones orí ni mo fẹ́ wọ headphone fún àsìnú òjò náà ẹ jẹ́ kí n play nǹkan kan wò náà kí n wo bóyá ó dún tó bá dún màá mọ̀ pé tí bàbá bá sọ̀rọ̀ màá gbọ́ wọn bóyá èmi ò gbọ́ra mi ni nítorí pé ìgbà gbọ́ra mi ó dà bẹ́ẹ̀ jù kí máa gbọ́ra mi nínú feedback yẹn lọ ẹ fún mi ní ìṣẹ́jú àkàn kí n fi ojú ṣùnùkùn wò ẹ má bínú sí mi ó ń ṣọmọ olókùú bẹ́ẹ̀ ni a kò ní sín pẹ̀lú òkú rẹ̀ mo máa gbọ́ bàbá dáadáa pàápàá ok mo ń ṣe another program ní background mi ẹ má bínú màá yí sílẹ̀ tó wà ní background yẹn màá yí sílẹ̀ díẹ̀ sí hold on. mo rò pé nǹkan tó wà ní background mi ni pé nǹkan tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ ní background mi ni mo rò pé bọ̀dá mi ń béèrè àbí ó dà pé ó ti ṣe dáadáa nítorí pé gbogbo ọ̀nà tó bá gbà náà ni a máa gbé gbà gbogbo bó bá ṣe rí náà la máa ṣe ṣe okay real tech ló lè ń pa ó kàn ṣojo ni kókàn tí ẹ kò má tà ó dà pé mo ti ń gbọ́ dáadáa nísìnyí this is background interference yeah okay mo ti yọ kúrò ńbẹ̀ mo ti yọ background interference yẹn tó bá yẹ pé ẹ lè gbọ́ tí o sì background interference yẹn ń bẹ̀ mọ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí mo by pressing 1 tí ẹ bá gbọ́ background interference yẹn mo kí yín káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ti àṣálẹ̀ nítorí pé gbogbo ohun tó yẹ kí a sọ nípa ẹ̀ náà la máa sọ nípa ẹ̀ ètò ọlọ́kan òjọ̀kan la máa fi ṣe ọba tó ní ayé àti ọ̀run kó dúró tì wá kó bá a ṣe ní àṣeyọrí nínú àánú ẹ̀ kó má ṣe dójú àdúrà tì wá gbogbo nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe kó ṣeé ṣe ní àṣeyọrí mo ń dúró dè yín bóyá ẹ ti gbọ́ mo fẹ́ kẹ́ sọ bóyá tẹ bá ti ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa nísìn ok odò àti dé ẹ ṣé bàbá wa mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ ní alẹ́ yìí mo pinnu pé màá mú bàbá wa padà wá mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ọba aláwùrà bíi pé wọ́n gbà fún wa nígbà tí mo put bàbá on the spot lánàá ni pé bàbá ṣe máa padà wá àǹtí mi Ọlábímpé ṣe dáadáa ni dókítà ẹ̀ náà wà ń bẹ̀ ẹ̀ǹlẹ́ ń bẹ̀ wọn Babátúndé Olúrìn ẹ̀yin náà pẹ́ fún wa àjọṣe náà ní Sagacity Kúnlé Ṣítà ẹni tí kì í pẹ́ dé class àwọn náà ló kọ́kọ́ délé ní Terry ọmọ Aládé mo kì í káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò tòní ṣe dáadáa lẹ́wà gbogbo ilé ńkọ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí a tètè gbé bàbá wọlé nítorí pé àkókò ti lọ àkókò yẹn dẹ̀ ti lọ tí kì í ṣe díẹ̀ ó ti lọ gan ní pàápàá bí kì í ṣe gbáwájú mi láìkẹ́ ẹ̀yìn ló yẹ kó gbà wọlé àkókò ti lọ ṣùgbọ́n síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ wọ́n pinnu pé àwọn máa bá a ṣe wọ́n dẹ̀ máa bá a ṣe nítorí pé ọmọlúàbí ni bàbá ọmọlúàbí ni bàbá Àjàlá ọmọlúàbí bíi tiwọn ni mo fẹ́ jẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀dẹ́ wo mi ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe ọmọlúàbí o ìwà pẹ̀lẹ́ ìwà pẹ̀lẹ́ ìwà pẹ̀lẹ́ ló láyé ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe ọmọlúàbí o ok ẹ jẹ́ ká mú bàbá wọlé ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní onípẹrẹwu bàbá wa ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò ti àṣálẹ̀ ìṣe dáadáa lẹ́wà gbogbo lé ń kọ́sà.
ẹ káàlẹ́ ọ ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ mo dúpẹ́ pé ẹ tún fẹ́ gbọ́ ohùn mi láṣálẹ́ yìí mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Olódùmarè mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ àti gbogbo nǹkan tí ó dá wa bí ọmọ Yorùbá mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín ẹ kú kàlẹ́ o ẹ kú ìjókòó díẹ̀ lára àwọn nǹkan tí màá sọ ó wà níwájú ọ̀gbẹ́ni èèyàn mi Adé Thomas.
ọmọ yín
ẹ ṣeun
ẹ ṣe sà mo dúpẹ́ bàbá mi ká tó máa lọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tá a sọ lánàá a rí i pé ó dà ń pò tí ń trend lórí electricity yẹn ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí trend lórí Twitter ó ń trend lórí YouTube as well nítorí pé ó dàbí pé bí ẹ ṣe bá fọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ lánàá yẹn ẹ fọ́ sí wẹ́wẹ́ ó yé èèyàn at least àwọn tó ti pè mí lẹ́ni lórí nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ sọ lánàá yẹn wọ́n á ti tó 50 sà ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló dẹ̀ ti pè mí pé lálẹ́ yìí kò síṣẹ́ lọ́la àwọn máa dúró gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ bàbá àwọn ṣáá ni.
ẹ ṣé o ẹ kó àyẹ́sí ẹ ṣé gan-an ọmọléèwé lèmi náà.
ọmọléèwé àgbà báà mi Alex Àjàlá àwọn ni a ní orí ètò ní àṣálẹ́ yìí àwọn náà máa là wá lóye wọ́n máa là wá lóye wọ́n máa kọ́ wa lọ́gbọ́n wọ́n máa fi ìmọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n máa fi bọ́ wa ṣé kò sí background interference yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ sìsìtá mi Elizabeth ẹ̀ńlẹ́mọ̀ wọn mo rí yín o mo rẹ́yìn náà o àwọn tí n bá lè dárúkọ tèmítèmí mo rẹ́yìn náà ẹ̀yin lẹ́kọ́ ṣe àmórí yín ẹ̀yin Latif Sulaimon lórí Facebook mo rẹ́yìn náà ẹ jọ̀ọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí YouTube náà tí ẹ bá ti like Heritage lórí Facebook page yẹn tẹ́ ẹ bá ti like Heritage Television Corporate Services tí ẹ bá ti like ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá mi fi ìyọ́nú ẹ lọ bá mi like ẹ kí ní ìbalẹ̀ máa kárí ilé kó máa kárí oko dáadáa. Bàbá lálẹ́ yìí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn odò wa la fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. àti pàápàá pé ejò odò ọrọ̀ ajé ìlú ààbò ìlú oúnjẹ ìlú iná ìlú kómi má yà lù káwọn èèyàn rómi kọ́ rómi bùwẹ̀ ó so papọ̀ mọ́ra wọn. kí lè sọ fún wa nípa bí wọ́n ṣe ṣe gbogbo pálapàla yìí wa.
àwọn odò wa tó ní ipa tí wọ́n kó ní àwùjọ orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá mo fẹ́ ṣe correction Nàìjíríà kì í ṣe orílẹ̀-èdè mo rí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ tá a bá fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ibi tí ó kó wa sínú gbàgà máa ń pè lórílẹ̀-èdè nǹkan tó ń pè lórílẹ̀-èdè ni àwọn tán bá jẹ́ kan ṣoṣo lábínibí same origin ancestral orísun kan náà ti wà èdè kan náà ti ń sọ ìwà kan náà ni wọ́n máa ń hù bí wọ́n ṣe ń wọṣọ àti oúnjẹ tó ń jẹ bọ́n ṣe ń sè bọ́n ṣe ń ṣe ìgbéyàwó gbogbo ẹ̀ tó bá jẹ́ kan náà ni àwọn yẹn ló máa ń pè ní orílẹ̀-èdè àwọn òyìnbó máa ń sọ pé ancestral origin is very important that sure the former
Home Office Secretary Home Office Secretary yeah.
Before he became Home Office Secretary was the Foreign Office, yeah, ministers, yeah. The first meeting he went to in Europe, which was discussing the Maastricht affair of a united Europe, like United States of America. The first thing to saw, which is widely known even anthropologically and in terms of definitions of peoples, he said nations are built on the basis of a common origin, common ancestral origin, language, culture, and tradition. And this does not exist with the European countries that are trying to force themselves into a federation or a union. The position Britain held eventually resulted into this Brexit. It's not only about immigration, it's about identity. And so Nigeria does not qualify as a nation. It's just a country. And if you can't even describe it as a nation state, because you'll be committing an anthropological mistake. Because nations have clear definitions. And that's why in the last 40 years, the countries in Europe decided to fragment into their different nation states. Now I can use that word. Nation states in the sense that the people so contained have a common ancestral origin. And therefore, it has been very impossible because of communism and capitalism imbroglio in the past. This, particularly in Eastern Europe, they were all forced to become one. The mess was very highlighted in Yugoslavia, where Tito tried to move people across within that territory called Yugoslavia. He moved, let's give you an example, like moving people from Ibadan to Enugu and the people from Enugu to Kaduna and the people from Kaduna to Ibadan. He tried to create what he called a similar sense of diversity that Angbela and Arawa. What happened at the end of the day? It collapsed. So you see, coming to Nigeria, we had different peoples in Nigeria. One English journalist based in Abuja, I believe he said there, he described clearly that in Nigeria we have the Yoruba group of kingdoms, the Hausa Caliphate and Emirates, and the Igbo segmentary Republican set, and other smaller nations. When he described the smaller nations like the Ibios, the Ijaws, the Kalabaris, the Junkos, that was what he was defining. And it beats my mind most of the time that our people describe themselves as tribes. It's an insult again. Maybe because we do not go deep into understanding the English language we use. And that is why it is occasioned upon us that our Yoruba nation has to emerge from the amalgam that has failed totally. That, by the way, another day we'll discuss this thing to the full, because we need to know, like I said yesterday and the previous days, we need to know who we are. And it's very important in nation building. And that's what Africa lacks, because most of the countries you see in Africa are not really African countries. They are European countries in which Africans are living in and trying to find a meaning to how to make them work. But unfortunately, from the 1960s, when the so-called independence wind of change came, there has not been peace in most of the countries, particularly the Congo. Right from the third month of their independence and up to today as we speak, even though that place has the largest deposit of minerals anywhere in the world, with mountains of gold. You dip your hand into some mountains, you come out with a handful of 90% pure gold from the sand. All you need to wash out is 10%. You have gold in your palm. But has that changed the country? No, because they are pretending to be a nation, which should not be. And that's why I was telling some people some days and years back that Shumbe, who wanted to break away in the papers, some of us who remember the breakaway Kantaga province, I say that he was the wisest Africanist at the time. And even when the first OAU conference was held in 1964 in Addis Ababa, the leaders who attended, will I call them leaders? Those who represented those African European countries said we are going to keep the boundaries. Go out to check the records. We are going to keep the boundaries that the white man left behind for us. It was prelude to chaos. Is that not what we are experiencing all these years? Where is the peace? No. And that's why coming to our rivers are very useful in terms of trade, communication, fishing, agriculture, water supply. It covers it.
Wow.
During the colonial time, I happened to be one little boy in those days. Like I always say, I've been to places, thank God and thank Olodumare for giving me the opportunity to move around our country. When I say our country, Yoruba land, our great country that is currently trapped into that amalgam called Nigeria. From Agbabu to Kitopa to Ebutere and this thing, we traveled by boat, powered river boat. Just after alighting from a short motor ride from Ore, we go into this. And that stretch of water was also the transportation for Gedu, timber, to the sea, to Brutu, and being shipped to the overseas. This timber are tethered together and pulled by a river tugboat. The same way from Lagos via Epe and through Lekki creeks, you can travel by the USC luxury boats to Kitopa, to Focados, to Brutu, and all the way. The pilot, knowing his way, can travel all the way to Port Harcourt without getting to the Atlantic Ocean. And that's one of the tricks, if you remember clearly, coming to the present, and I go back to the past, and I start to explain. When Yaradua won the election and started, one of his first projects was, we are going to drag all our waterways. Please, those of you listening, I hope you do remember. It was a fanfare well launched in Lagos. A lot of people are here. Our waterways are going to be opened up for transportation and for traffic. And then they went on with some rickety draggers. They got to Lokoja, and there was a fanfare, and the people were saying, no, we are happy. The age of transport on the rivers are coming back again, because some of them were old enough to remember the USC transportation system. Very efficient. There are some sleeper boats. And then what happened? The target was Baro. If you look at the map of Nigeria, it's just south of Minas, just southeast of Abuja, on the river Niger, downriver from the Jeba Dam. Baro actually means Bar Zero. That was the terminal for the railway that the Lugard team were building. They did not want to link up with the railway coming from the south that was started by McGregor, who built the McGregor Canal in Lagos. So coming back to that, about the importance of rivers and waterways in the life of nations. And I say nations, I hope we do agree about the definition now. They currently, because Yaradua's target was to create a river port for the north. It was not it was the earlier vision that we are opening up Nigeria again for this. That was not this. If you look back into it, the sections from Lagos to Epe has not been touched, but they have furiously dug the Baro port, and they are building it. What happens to the rest of the stretch that he fanfarely announced to the whole world? Was published. USC routes on the waterways along the creeks out of the Atlantic Ocean is going to be reopened in Nigeria. Yes, we say, oh, Nigeria is going to be open. It's going to be a powerful place again. Is it? Even the section around Onitsha Saba that's supposed to also be dragged. They did some rudimentary dragging there, and then Lokoja, and then they targeted Baro. If those of you live in Nigeria, check it out. There's a fury of activities trying to complete the port in Baro, Bar Zero. It's a measurement of mileage. That was the terminal for the railway initially, before they redirected the troop Mina and Bida to Jeba to link up with the one coming from the south. And this was an order from the colonial office. Now, how can you build two railways that are not joined? How do you move goods that cannot go on the rivers? Because they knew the rivers are not that very efficient in transportation in West Africa. There are limits to our transportation on those rivers. But we have an advantage in Yoruba land that we could transport things right from Lagos to Oksupa without any problem. The rivers are deep enough, and the creeks and rivers are deep enough from that section. And the main rivers that drain the Yoruba and Kukuruku hills all dump their waters into those creeks and lagos. So there's no problem of either water shortage and low level flow in those sections of our river. And they are also very good for fishing. We have not developed them. Like I saw one thing, one comment on yesterday's program. Somebody says, if you have gone to school, it is office job you have to take. I felt like crying. What kind of thinking is that? The best person for practical things is the educated person. He will know how to fashion things out. Think about it. Like I said yesterday and the previous day, as students, we were building structures in Western Nigeria. Does that remove from me that I'm a student? But I'm learning how to build structures. And one of the first things I learned was the local builder who we worked with asked me to go and bring a trowel. I thought it meant a towel. So I went to look for a small towel. Then he said, Alakowe, kini Monique Lomuwa, trowel, nothing boo, cement, I'm having shock, brick. Then I learned, and I learned it more proficiently because I'm educated. And it means I can, one of my, he has a PhD in all other subjects. He went back to learn carpentry and got a diploma in it after his PhD. So that he and the carpenters completed the roofing of his house in Osogbo there. What pleasure is there that you derive that I did this for myself? That's the pride I want every one of us. If you have gone to school, does not mean that you cannot do dirty job. Most of the engineers who build the bridges were never university students. Yet they go back to university to teach engineering students because they have learned on the job and they are very proficient. Some of these big bridges you see all over the world, those who designed and built them. I don't know what is wrong with us, not because we are detailed at the That was one of the regrets where Professor Ladoku, when he was sent to manage Kanji Dam. The engineers that came to work with him, in the morning he would wear his short knicker with all the tools in the pockets as an engineer. And you see these young ones who have just left university, they call them engineer, and we are in tie in the hot afternoon of Nigeria. It is sad. That's why we know how to make use of. No, these are facts. Professor Ladoku, when he was telling me this, some of you do know him. He was almost crying. See, where are this generation going? What's the meaning of an engineer if you cannot think? It is a maker. An engineer is a maker, not a pen pusher. And ridiculously, a lot of them don't even know how to undo the bolts of their tires. It has happened to some people I know. Why? Because you've gone to school, therefore you are above everybody. We should stop that character. That's not the nature of the Yoruba race. If it was that in nature before the white man came, we would not have existed.
No.
Now, all these rivers, starting from Ogun, Osun, Owena, Ose, Ogbese, course, there are sources. Most of them have deep valleys because they are flowing from high level. So they erode deep channels for themselves. What's the advantage? Can easily dam them and create water bodies for irrigation, for fishing, for agriculture, and even for transportation and sports on the rivers, teaching our boys how to do canoeing. We don't have any sports in Nigeria, and I don't wish that to be the portion of we don't have, except football, and a few people play tennis. After the Awopegba and Onibokun era, of which I participated, I'm actually, funny enough, a certified international tennis coach. We had this the international body coming to Ibadan to train us in those days, but that does not exist anymore because number one, there's no safety. Ogunpa River became politicized. What we should have accepted to channelize it properly and even build other structures along with it. It was completely politicized. That was sad. It was sad. We should now, for us to take advantage of God's gift, these rivers, that will be the artery of our salvation. Why I say the artery of our salvation? Because they will provide the electricity for us, they provide irrigation systems, they provide water, potable water into homes, instead of going to a conga in the front of the house to go and fetch, or having boreholes that eventually will collapse after some years. When God has provided this on a platter of gold to us, the waterways. Yes, not all of them are navigable, but they have the advantage is that they have a great use for us. They use electricity, like we said yesterday. Most of them. Even the Oyo Dam that had been created, it's supposed to be a fishing, they are supposed to develop a fishing industry there. There was one fateful paper, I don't know if I got it. The federal government commissioned some young men to condemn the dam. I said, if this type of thing happens in Europe, they will hang those people. Literally. Because they will tell them of, how can you condemn a dam that is source of energy, power, recreation, fishing, food, transportation is there? Because you've allowed it to just stay stagnant. You are not using it. And this was one of the problems we faced from 1984 when the continued completion of the project of Oyo Dam was scuttled. Large pipes were supposed to lead the water to Lagos and have along the way reservoirs spread around Lagos whereby water will be processed and serve the city of Lagos. Where is it now? 1984 to now. How many years? Over 30 years. Is that progress? Yet we see publications. Nigeria is the fastest growing economy. What economy? Can anybody define it to me, please? Is it the oil exportation from the Niger Delta, the wretched Niger Delta that has nothing to show for the oil? I don't know. We are going in circles. We are willfully blind to the truth about how to use our resources. Waterways, all those rivers have to be dammed or have to be harvested. If we don't dam it, we harvest it. We stick a pipe into some sections or a whirlpool where we direct some of the water into, and the water goes into the pipes and then downhill to some generators downhill, and the water again pass back. So, water is one of the key to life. And water, if some of you have been reading some of the things happening, it's going to be one of the most expensive commodity worldwide. Some countries will be fighting for water sources. Yet we have this gift, free of charge. And it says, facing southwards in our own land. So who is going to fight for our rivers flowing within our land when it's not on the boundary? Except maybe River Niger. The advantages are immense.
Baba, let me put you on hold for a minute. Let's take some few points. We're going to take borehole, we're going to take irrigation, and we're gonna take drinking water, and then we're gonna take flooding. Yeah, let's take those four because this waterways has got a lot to do and a lot of things that's interwoven with it. Not even to talk of using it as a means of transportation. Let's look at this one. First of all, borehole. If we have water, do we need borehole? Disadvantages of borehole. Everybody that have borehole in their house, what did they end up with? Typhoid fever, cholera, because remember they have soak away as well. So the water leak into the borehole, and they use it as a weapon against us. Because then you're not going to be healthy if you drink. You poo in one side, and part of the water gets sucked into your borehole or well. Yeah, no matter how you keep filtering it through the soil, after some time, the mechanism that is filtering the water in the soil will get saturated. So the pool, the soak away, the toilet water is still going to go there. And this causes diseases. It causes malnutrition. It's shorting people's life. Endless problems. Let's talk about that borehole thing that we think because these people are the one even digging the borehole for us. So they get trained to say, go and dig borehole for these idiots. They say we're not wise. Àwọn Fulani Ogbon, àwọn Hausa Ogbon, àwa la kàwé, àwa la mọ̀wé, àwa la mọ̀nà, àwa la mọ̀wés, àwa la mọ̀ṣẹ́jù, àwa ni gbogbo ẹ̀. But for a long time, for over 40, 50 years, they've been planning how to mess us up. And they've been executing those plans bit by bit.
Years, over 200 years
yes.
ago.
They've been executing it. And nobody cares. So
they're very patient people.
Yes.
Steadily, they come into your land. They come to say we are well diggers.
Yes.
Remember in those days, they were buying Bekonga.
Along the line, they study you.
They started building waterworks and dams in various district and local governments, not local governments, and divisional areas, districts. There are lots of them built. But by the time they were leaving, instead of expanding on it and spreading it into other places because of development that do not have these pipes within these towns to extend it, and even there are several rivers near some of these dam, build another dam, process the water. This time around, be wise enough to put a mini generator to provide the power to pump this water into your people's homes. What did they do? Everything's politicized by our own people, against our own people. We are going to stop it. The soul of the departed that have died prematurely out of this neglect will rise up and say no with us who are alive. I believe that. I'm going to stop it. Boreholes, no wonder, a lot of my young friends in Lagos, Uncle Moni, typhoid fever. Typhoid fever, for God's sake, young man. How For God's sake, why? Oh, Omini, like he has earlier described, there's seepage from separate towns into the boreholes. And not only that, all the land, particularly in Lagos, that is sandy, we are perforating it, and homes are falling down regularly. I had, for all this, I had people monitoring information for me. One of them was a young girl. I said she's dead now. It had complication of pregnancy and typhoid fever. Sad. Every month she gives me an analysis that, oh, this month in Lagos, at least 50 houses have collapsed or their subsidence. I know why. Because myself and my friend Afolabi, we use the word perforation of the land. And now you see some homes.
Baba, one minute, Baba, sir. 1 minute, 1 minute. Let's answer this call. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna take this call as an exception because me and the ignore caller team back so I'll discuss it. Baba wa abi mama wa to wa lórí kan ẹ ti pè náà ẹ gbóhùn sókè ẹ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. No, ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ tí yín ká ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ tí yín ká.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ sà, ṣé wà lórí line ni sà?
A wà lórí ètò ni sà, a wà lórí ètò.
Mi mo fẹ́ bèrè ètò àná yẹn ni tí ẹ kọ́ sọ yẹn ni mo ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wọlé ni.
Okay, ẹ wo ẹ join program tá à ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ yìí tàbá towards the end a sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àgùn yẹn sà. Ṣé gbọ́ sà? Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ sà o. Bye bye. You see why you can't ignore your family's calls? Because they might be calling you for something important. That you guys are my family and I cannot ignore you for any reason. Baba Emma, continue, sir.
We need to redefine our water management by creating River Basin Management Authority, not River Basin Authority. River Basin Management. The management means that the authority will manage it on behalf of the people. The one we have now is a wholesale stealing of the river basins from the people. You cannot do anything on our river basin without express permission from the federal government now. Because I sometimes do agricultural consultancy, but I've left it for the time now because I believe I was wasting my time because all the documentations I take to the farm, buy a large amount of data, get to the farm, there's the tower near me, I cannot receive data to show the young men how to do things. I wanted to create an environment where their farm could be a teaching ground for the Osun State University, which was nearby. I failed. Why? Electricity and the internet. Should that be happening in modern day and we call ourselves fastest growing economy? How will those young men in the university benefit from field work, which I was trying to develop and give to them? I couldn't do it. Am I going to do that? Even if it's writing, that's not enough. You have to have a visual presentation of this things and how water is going to be managed in such environment. Agriculture, irrigation, fishing, electricity. They are all intertwined. And transportation. And also recreation on the waters. Have your boats. Like I see a lot of people enjoy having some speedboats in the Lagos Lagoon. Most of it that is not, it's very unmaintained. There's water hyacinth in some areas. There's weeds covering some areas, which should not be there in modern day. That's a great asset of Lagos that is unmaintained, the lagoon. It's not just for fun. And again, the bridges across the lagoon are not the type of bridge that should be built. They should be higher than that so that big boats can go through, like the USC boats I was talking about can't go through under those things. They are big, really big boats. They travel from Lagos via Epe to Lekki Lagoon, which is further down Epe route, to Kitupa. Beautiful. If you want to enjoy your holiday along the creeks. But can we do that now? No. I believe we can re-engineer the bridges in Lagos to change the format. And even the foundation of the Third Mainland Bridge is shaky right from the beginning. A bridge is supposed to last, if well built, about 120 years before any major repairs. I said well built. That bridge has had a space of maybe it's going to collapse. They close it down, they start to wedge it up because they haven't got to the basement complete. Or if they couldn't get to it because of the swampiness and the clay nature of that place. There are methods of doing it: rafting and piling deep enough, and then when you pile it up, then you now infuse quick drying cement to expand at the bottom to form like a base, like a foot to hold these bridges. That was not done. Sorry, I'm not an engineer, but I know.
No, but we know how this is being bastardized because what to your bridge what if you have a barry banino sir?
I know that time there was I won't mention the name. Well, I was in Ibadan. One of the daughters of one of those who were managing those bridges came to Ibadan and established a mini supermarket on the road to University of Ibadan. At the end of the day, when the money source dried up, the mini supermarket was closed down. See, we've wasted billions of pounds that should have been used to develop. And look at
is it the Uncle Joe thing? Is it the Uncle Joe supermarket?
No. This one was owned by a young, beautiful, slim girl, the daughter of one of those people working. A pretty girl, never mind. I didn't have anything to do with her, but I knew her anyway. Don't worry about that. But coming back, you have trapped Lagos Lagoon into two parts with the bridges. That was not the kind of bridge. And look at the Eco Bridge, the one that replaced the Qatar Bridge. And by the way, I believe Qatar Bridge should not have been taken down. Should have been left as a market place for remembrance. It could have been a very beautiful tourist attraction. And even the bridge that replaced it, when you're driving into Lagos Island, you drop as if you are doing a hop, step, and jump into a pit. That's not how to do a bridge. Yet, somebody signed that it was completed. It's an eyesore to, what do you call it, to that country and to that city of Lagos. Yet, our people in the city of Lagos keep quiet. Why? One of the things that those who are constructing, they want to pay compensation to the house for the houses they are going. Why should they not pay compensation and give these people better housing and then build proper arteries, road arteries into Lagos? Those things are wretched. Some of you know what I'm talking about. The entry of a Qatar Bridge into Lagos Island. You know, you have the Eco Bridge, the new Qatar Bridge, and then the Third Mainland Bridge, which was suspended for many years until the Oka coup forced Babangida to come. It was constructed as a result of fear, as a result of spite. And as a result of so-called, I'm protecting myself against the people. I can always drive from the Barracks, go around and get to Ikeja Airport without going through those silly places in Lagos. That was the ethos of that bridge. And that's why it is falling. Do we sing the song, London Bridge is falling down? Or we not say, Todd Milan Bridge is falling down. I'm sorry. You see, people should remember things. We should not accept mediocrity as a way of life. We should not accept it. Each time I go to Lagos, I just see the beautiful language divided into two. Yes. How will a big boat go under the Eco Bridge?
Impossible. Very much impossible.
And then it means a natural waterway is trapped. And now, our rivers, apart from Ogun River and the others, Ogun River floods Lagos regularly. And again, added to it is the Oyo Dam. When it is filled up, they have to let the water go, or else if it breaks the structure, there'll be catastrophe.
Around the area,
right
the villages.
Even up to Lagos, to be flooded. After it floods most of the areas in is it Ikeja or something around there. I see it on this video. The flooding from that place because they allow some of the water to run out. What if it was being used regularly, pumping electricity through the rickety 9 megawatt generators, and the water diverted into irrigation lands? And by the way, the irrigation land, which was supposed to be about 3,000 hectares of land, if it was built, the Wakili people will not find a place to come and be driving their cattle in our forest. It was deliberately not done. Like I said, I'm sorry, I still have a great deal of material to provide for you all listeners. There is going to be a map showing the deliberate act to make sure that those places are never developed, right from Iseyin, which also includes the Keregoy dam that was supposed to provide another 3,000 hectares of land with water for irrigation. You know how I like this? If all those things were working since 1980s, this cattle would not have come there. They were stayed in their boundaries in the north. But they were deliberately left undeveloped so as to give room for them to complete the task of Muhammad Bello of 1824, which had conquered the land of the infidels and handed it over to Allah. And that's a fact.
Handed over to themselves, to their family.
These are the things we have been facing. And some of us are jumping about having political accommodation with our enemies. They are human beings themselves. I praise them that they have a goal, and that goal is domination of people who do not think of themselves, who do not think of their different individuals. They think only of themselves. They don't bother. Some of us have heard about that. Our sons have daughters, even though not related, killed in the north. We don't care. We don't say anything. Each day I remember that man in London here who lost 7 kids and 2 wives on the same day. They were slaughtered like goats in their home in Kano. Or the imam, the very brilliant imam and a scholar, Yoruba scholar in Kano too. His mosque was the calling ground for a lot of people, including the Yorubas and a few others living around. When he calls the room, the time is always correct. Studiously, steadfastly. On this day, one morning, everybody was waiting for the call for prayer. No one had. 5, 6, 7. What the hell? What happened? They went to the house. His head was apart from his body. Why? Too brilliant a scholar. He's taking away their people to his own mosque. People in London here who are hearing me can attest to what I'm saying. It was a sad day for all of them. And that comes by looking at the effect of not developing our waters, not developing our environment. Going into, within Nigeria, we tend to travel from one country to another. That's the fact. Even though Wale Soyinka would differ. Because at one conference he was saying, when Nigeria breaks up, will I be carrying 17 passports to travel throughout Nigeria? It does not go that way. We can have an arrangement of common interest.
Even
that is
the
possible.
Vice President said it lately, sir.
Yeah, because if they are thinking people, then, like I said, most people have dropped their thinking cap. I'm sorry for the Vice President thinking that way. It does not change the fact that we are not one. You're having to carry many passports. It's not relevant. This is one thing I explained to Adubayero. But I don't expect people of high erudites like that to start hiding behind a falsehood. That's what I would say. If I had to speak to him, I would tell him this same thing. Because let us free our minds and tell the truth. And that is what the Olodumare has told us to do. So that we can collectively, it is not me alone, it's the souls of the departed who have suffered the ignominy. And the rest of us alive should not let their soul to cry in vain. Another thing I'll tell you, in our rivers, particularly Lagos, Eyadaba, at Leke. How many of you have seen it again? Because the birds now have flown away because the blood of those killed before time is crying in the air. Those who can see it. It is sad. Adewale Thompson, before he died, mentioned it. I've followed him. Some of you know him. It's a classic mystic.
Leke gba mi leke o ayanfe.
And that time, even the white men know this. When you spread your hand, it has a meaning. It has a spiritual meaning.
Yeah.
It's a sign of peace, a sign of a continuity of a people. That's why if we don't act now, the Yoruba race might be extinct. But luckily we are talking about it. The souls of everyone that is listening to me, whether you are Christian or Muslim, know that the power in you is born in you as a Yoruba person. And that is why your prayers, which comes in from your origin, even before the Bible you read, makes the Bible you read have a meaning. And therefore you should not forget your homeland. That's the truth. We have the energy, we have the power. The power of many becomes one, and that one becomes great, and that greatness frees us all. Our waters. What are we doing with them? Do we have any recreation apart from Lagos that maybe a few rich people are riding some boats around? That's not life. When the common little boy in Ebute Metta has no that opportunity, Obele Longwa, there are no speedboats. And to do that, government can invest in a structure of communal help
getting these things available, giving it to these people, monitoring it, have until they are able to buy it. The same thing goes to agriculture. We need to set up agri machine centers whereby farmers can come and rent this thing and pay after harvest. But what I hear is that some of these state governments have all these caterpillars and so on, and they expect a farmer who has no penny to come and rent it. How do you think? You have to arrange. When the white man and Awolowo and Co. and those Western Nigeria Development Corporation were running Western region to the level that it was the envy of the whole world, they were giving chemicals, Gamali 20 free to the farmers.
Yes. All
they do later is after harvest they pay some tax and all that. Is that not the joy to develop? At that time, most children of farmers were never running to Lagos. Even if they came at all, they would just come on holidays. They'll be counting but now we get stuck in Lagos, or we start trekking the desert to escape
Nigeria.
From our own home. Why do we do that when God has given us everything? Look at, why do we need boreholes when God's given rivers, large ones, are there? All you need to do, even if you don't have dams, divert part of it into reservoirs along the line. Like Lagos, you have about 50 artificial reservoirs. From there, you now start to process the water, both wastewater and then potable water, into homes. What do we have now? Boreholes. Look at this thing. Some typical buildings in which I still had it because it was hijacked from my phone in Festac. The person on the first floor have with his tank on the second floor. The person on the second floor has his own tank on the third floor. All that as if it's a building site. It's irritating. You all know what I'm talking about. Is this what we should accept as development, please? No. Water is there. Process the water. Pass it to homes. Now also start developing our system of sewage, which ought to have been done by the earlier federal government, starting from Balewa. It was not done. Not that there was not the money. Even the expansion of Iju Waterworks was in the pipeline. Was it done? A few people were trained. I have an in-law who was trained. Then when I was arguing with him, he said, I pay my tax. We are working for the... I said, that is not the point, sir. It's not about your paying the tax. What's the wisdom of what you are doing? Are they really going to expand this Iju Waterworks? It's not been done. Or am I behind in the history? Am I ancient? No. Of recent I've seen any new pipelines coming out of Iju Waterworks. Is there anybody who can let me know?
I don't even think there's much water in Iju Waterworks again. It's just a name.
No, there's still. But it's silted up. It's uncleared. It's not desilted, which is supposed to be done regularly. And the silt used in spreading as manure into farms, making it easy to cultivate fresh fruits and vegetables around those areas. I know the Lagos has some minor reservoirs. Are they effective? No. That's the answer. It's staring us in the face. In our towns and villages, rivers flow besides us, flooding. This should be controlled. That's why I said our education curriculum should be changed to be a critical curriculum that would target development. Teaching our boys how to make things right from primary school. Composite making for small gardens that each one of them will have to cultivate fruits, eat fresh, and grow and be beautiful the way our Lord had created us. But what do we have? We have children crying when you get home. But I mean, oh God. When the land is there. And most of our even farmlands have been abandoned. Large tracts of cocoa farmlands have been abandoned. Right from Ibadan to Ondo, to Akoko, to Ekiti, everywhere. They are abandoned. I have one also that's abandoned. When that farm was, but because I've been trying to revive it, even though I started another farm, a Baguda farm, or a Gay farm, or if you want to hear. Or but
you don't want to see the answer. You don't want to see the answer people provide me yesterday. Right?
No, don't worry. I know, because we have left, just like some of the boys I taught in those days thought that cocoa pod grows in the soil and that yam grows on the tree. Well, it is because the parents who are grown up, or because they've gone to school, why? The land on which you were born that provides you food, why would your child not know how? That's the sad story. Each time, I didn't go to farm much, but each time I went to farm, I was always forced to go home. I would rather want to stay in the abattoir local to see how things are done, how people, even that was so-called alakowe. What alakowe? Ṣé ìwé ni mo fẹ́ jẹ ni? Orin yẹn wà náà, iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ni iṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa. Ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́
a máa jalè. Ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò pé o.
The singing philosophy, we've forgotten it. In the attempt to be modern to be stupid. No, it's not on. Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè ní pé kí gbogbo á padà sí òdodo. Ẹ̀mí gbogbo á máa bẹ̀ sí í ṣe ọ̀kan láti sin ọlágbára Ọlọ́run, so that we can see the truth to get our people out of this amalgam that has failed completely. After it was said to fail, it was not even supposed to last up to now. We have been propping it up in the South. And that's why some of our leaders think that, how can we now unravel what we have been supporting? You are supporting something that some other people are using against your own interest. I will say clearly, the South was propping up the amalgam, and the North was making use of it for their advantage. Why would 83% of the oil block belong to the North?
True.
These are open statements. And even the management of I said earlier that River Basin Management Authority, the management of the oil lands is wrong. The owner of the land takes first priority of royalty if oil comes from. That's why you hear about oil barons. And recently, the pipeline bringing shale oil from Canada through America to Texas for processing. Every distance of pipeline that passes through somebody's frontage, the man gets royalty for it. That's management of resources. But what do we have in Nigeria? These people, they are either kicked out of their houses and broken down, nothing is paid. They could give them some peanuts. And no replacement. Is that a country? And that's why the young men and women in the Niger Delta became very vicious at some time. I don't blame them.
Do you blame them? We can't blame them.
Because if things are managed the way it's supposed to be managed, Colin Forike, one of my elderly friend barrister, is gone now. When I explained to him, I said, sir, don't you hear about the oil barons in America? They are not oil, they don't dig for oil. It's their land that provides oil for the big oil corporations to dig. And they are paid their royalties because their land provides. It's not the government of America that gets it. Just like in Nigeria, that in fact, unfortunately, one edit that came up in 1934 was occasioned by the fact that when Zeke came, saw that the oil barons of America got their money from having portions of land where oil comes from. So he tried to start buying up land in the Niger Delta. If I were him, I would have been advising the people. And when the British colonial officers saw this, they now made an edit that all minerals on land and sea
belongs to the
government. But that is anti-development. That was made. But when we got independence, should we not reverse it to benefit our people? Knowing the fact that in other places of the world, the people from whose land this thing comes from get first royalty on the product that comes through it. And those, if the oil does not come from your back garden and a pipeline taking the oil passes through your land, you get royalties for it. Is that done? No.
No.
And that is one of the poverty promotion element of government in Africa. Government tends to, just like what is happening in the Congo now, the gold mountains of those who had the land are now being pushed out. But I pray that they should resist. It belongs to them. And funny enough, Tanzania does it something better. When gold is found on your land, government assists you to mine it correctly, and you get your process. They don't drive you out, northern Tanzania, because it is their land. It's ancestral land. Now, why do you a government claiming it? It is wrong. Playing on the ignorance of the poor people, and they now say law. The government law says it. Are people made for law or law made for the people? That's the question that I want to ask some people, like my big brother Falan. His own case, something else we'll discuss later, some days.
Yes.
And that will be personal. It should not be on webinar, because I will respect him to let him know some of the things he has said are questionable. Very, very questionable.
Wow.
Water is the key to life. Then fire, and fire, electricity, and the air, and the rains. Those 4 elements that God has given us.
Baba, if the waterways are not being managed properly, and the stagnance of water here and the airport of water here and there, it leads to mosquito as well.
Exactly.
And bring malaria.
That reminds me of what one Englishman who was working in the south, of whom Lugard really hated. He never wanted to meet him. They were working for the same colonial government, but Lugard never wanted to see him because Lugard feels that MacGregor was too friendly with the people. Said those people who think they know better. That's the attitude of Lugard to our own people. So if you say it's racist, then you are. But MacGregor worked with the people, drank afternoon teas with them, planned the dragging of Lagos in the 1900s, building MacGregor Canal to be a waterway to transport goods from Apapa Port inland to Ikeja for distribution. his plan was that he didn't want large vehicles to come to the city of Lagos. It should be outside that these large vehicles should be stationed. And that was why that canal was built. But was it maintained? No. And that was where 1,000 people died when the bombing of the cantonment happened some years back under Obasanjo. Water. He did a lot of work draining Lagos, and they were even distributing mosquito nets. These are the people some of us go about saying they hate us. It's us who hate ourselves. Because at every turn, they have tried to let us know that we are better off being Yoruba nation. But we didn't listen. We were playing the game of nationalism. And that particular word, when I was growing up, I never really liked it because I knew it was wrong. Nigerian nationalism. What do you think? Nigerian nationalism. How national is the country? We are speaking English language. How do I express myself to the Fulani man or the Junku man? What if he doesn't understand the kind of English I speak? Did we think about it? Or if I get there, I look for somebody to translate. Then it means I'm already in a foreign country. That's where translation happens. Even though you are speaking English, you are looking for somebody to translate. I had a scenario which I told my Hausa friend. He was a very jovial man. I like some of them. They tell you the truth that they want to tell you. Underlined. I said, imagine the scenario that I come and I stand on a soapbox and say, oh, you people, I get somebody to translate for the people listening to me because they don't understand. A large percentage of them don't understand English language. I say, I'm going to introduce free education and free service to you. We're going to have the best life. Then our children will no longer be staying under the trees, all their manjuries will do that and all that stuff. Then I pause. And then the man translates. You know what the translation will be? In his language. Don't listen to him. When I finish talking, you clap as if you understand what I have translated to you. And that's what happens. And you know better because you don't understand their language. And that was even how Adekunle was able to break a queue when there was a meeting of the governors of Nigeria when we still had 4 regions. When they were talking, the other people who are from the north started speaking their language and saying obverse to what they were trying to agree on. San Franciscan was there, and Zakashi Ibrahim, and the
Adesoja
Aderemi. And then the young man, understanding the language, now called the Yoruba representative. These people are not truthful. He knew that. They are telling you the lies. These are reported things. I'm not making it up. Some of you know what I'm talking about. We've been living a lie right from 1914 because the white administrators in the north never lied the white administrators in the south. Even among the people who put the marketplace together. So how best those of us who do not understand the other make it? And so they envied our waterways. And look at how this man raised money, raised the hope of all of us. I was one of those happy. Oh, when I get to Lagos, I might be able to enter a river boat from Lagos to Okitopa again. Where is it? All they are doing is they are furiously building a river port at some point in 1951, Balewa even suggested that he wanted the British officers to talk to their French counterpart to allow them to start shipping their own goods through Dahomey to the sea, not through Nigeria. It's in his book. See, any one of them did not know what I'm talking about. We should not be hiding under a broomstick. Let the truth be told now. And let us all...
And learn from it.
Not only learn from it, let us all collectively dissolve that country peacefully. It has to be dissolved. It has no right to continue to mortgage the future of our young men and women, both in the Yoruba land, Igbo land, or Hausa land. But let everyone go his own way. That's what I've always been saying from the time I started this.
Wow.
I won't call it a crusade. This narrative. And I believe the souls of the departed and the souls of all of you listening to me will be joining with me so that we all become one to call for the dissolution. We are not agitating. It's when you're agitating, they beg you. We are not agitating. We are calling for a truism. Something has failed. Why do you want to retain it? A business that is amalgamated, if it fails, the various owners dissolve it and share whatever is left of the wretchedness. That's what happens. Our waterways.
Okay.
They are used. We could even, not being used, we could even rechannelize and manage the Ogun River so that some heavy goods can be transported by river from Lagos to Abeokuta.
Yes.
It is possible. It is the will of the people. Do you know that Los Angeles gets its water from across the Rocky Mountains? They dug a tunnel past the water and then goes. Then they now have different reservoirs along the way, falling down using the water power to push the water into the city of Los Angeles. How many? Far distance of almost 1,000 miles. How far away is Lagos to Abeokuta? That we cannot use that river as a transport route.
Wow.
Or the Ogunpa. It can be channelized from where it enters the lagoon to transport goods to Ojebode and even further. And many others like that. There's much work to do if we want to, so that we leave so much for our children's children to continue to develop our beautiful land that God has given us. But what are we doing?
Baba, I want to say a very big thank you for all this information, because I'm lost for words. My head ache, and I'm sure sometimes we feel like putting our hands in our palm and bow and bury our head in our palms, because we messed up. We allowed this to go for so long. Maybe we should open the line for about 5 minutes for people to call in, but I don't really think that is necessary, because it's too shameful how we get ourselves so entangled in this mess. It's a capital mess, and we're so much entangled into it. Because I want to bring Baba again tomorrow. I hope Baba I'm just like Oliver Twist that keep asking for more.
I'm ready. I'm ready. God has given me the strength and power. Okay. I will tell you, I'm a general.
Wow. 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 Okay, guys, let's open the line.
Thanks to the women.
Yeah.
I respect women a lot.
Yeah. Let's take about 5 calls on these programs. When you know I have taken 5 calls, please, you don't need to call again, so that we can let Baba go. Tomorrow is Saturday. My day tomorrow is very busy. So I'm going to have to wake up early in the morning tomorrow, because I have program as early as 10 o'clock. I think 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the number to call. Please don't call the other number. That is the number to call on the screen. Thanks for bringing in tomorrow from Paris, France. Okay, thank you. What I might probably do is look at how many calls are coming in from France and Germany. I think we have more calls from Germany. Maybe I have to provide a Germany number so that it will be easier for people to call from that end as well. The reason it's easier to manage the calls when it comes through the landline because of the switchboard that we operate. So it's easier to do it that way. So guys, I want you to bear with me. That is the number to call. I know there might not be a lot of questions because this is not time for question on this issue. This is a time to reflect and look at how what you're gonna do individually on how to reclaim and dissolve the AMAG, dissolve the union, dissolve whatever we're holding together, because there's no point in holding this thing together. Sorry, I'm not trying to swallow Babaja. So, in the absence of call, Baba, I want to thank you for coming today and agreeing to come again tomorrow. No, we I think there's no. You know, I told you earlier on that people are reflecting sadly on all this information. They're not just reflecting.
I wish to everybody that I'm with you all. Whatever you are thinking, we are one. Omo Yoruba gbogbo wa, omo Olódùmarè, Olódùmarè otu agbe wa, Olódùmarè ro ti wa fún wa ní òye àti ìmọ̀ tá máa fi kúrò nínú gbàgàtà wa. According to the memory of great people like Papa Adeniran of 134 Bangoshe, who believed fervently until his last day. I still remember him standing by the doorway when I went to visit him before he passed on. I know he's with us. He said, I'm calling for the peaceful dissolution of Nigeria. He wrote a book on that. And the federal government House of Representatives bought 360 copies of that book many years back. Did they act on it? They only saw it as a joke. And many of our people who know Papa Adeniran say that complainant. That's what some of them are people calling. He was telling the truth. He saw this truth even before the 1959 election. He told me. There was no possibility for Action Group to win because, first of all, the constituencies are skewed to the north. 168 seats in the north, 57 in the west, 77 in the east, and the rest divided between the colony of Lagos and Calabar, because those were special areas. How can you win with 57 seats? Even if you get all the seats in the middle belt, you still can't win.
Baba is from Ekiti side. Baba is from Ekiti side. But he has traveled the whole of Yoruba land so much. That's probably what I can say, right? So, Baba, I want to thank you. I'm going to let you go now. I want to thank you. I want to express my heartfelt, warm sense of accomplishment, because this is giving me a lot of joy, even though I have to put all my lights on. Okay, I think we got a call from America. Let's pick it up quickly. Hello, American caller, your name and where you're calling from, please.
All right, sir.
How are you?
I'll be very attentive to about so. Was so interesting. I'm actually pay question of people want it. More my book a lot about a lot of people want to see complex.
Ami.
Go on here and was very educating one. ṣùgbọ́n kan tí wọ́n á fẹ́ béèrè ni pé mo kàn fẹ́ draw attention to the for example ní èmi yìí ó ní ẹnìkan tó jẹ́ pé nínú àwọn tí òṣèlú máa ń lò tí wọ́n máa fi ń dúró election so mo kàn wá sample opinion rẹ̀ àmì ó sọ̀rọ̀ pa local government pé chairman ọ̀rọ̀ ilé àlẹ́kì ìjọba ó sọ̀rọ̀ ìkọ́sọ̀ tí mo bí kọ́ nìyẹn mo kàn sọ nípa election tó ń bọ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan fẹ́rẹ̀ mo wá fẹ́ lo medium yẹn kí n sọ fún pé ilé ọmọ Yorùbá lẹ̀ ní ṣé ẹ sì ń bílí nínú ṣé ẹ̀yin ò rí gbogbo nǹkan tí àárín tẹ̀lé iṣẹ́ wa call attention rẹ̀ fẹ́jìlẹ́lì ẹ̀yà ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà dára sóra tí wàhálà yẹn bá délẹ̀ tí wọ́n mọ ní òjò àfìlú aya ní òfìlú ìwọ̀kan òfìlú tí wàhálà bá délẹ̀ àwọn tá a máa dìde ẹ̀. mo sọ bí lọ́nà wo ẹni tí báwọn tí bá ń dájọ́ láti ọdún mélòó pé ibo lè dá wàhálà náà jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ gbà bó ṣe bá yẹn kí wọ́n bọ́ ní kèé tó bá wá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ níṣù ìyẹn kí ni solution ṣé inú yín dùn bí àwọn èèyàn wa ti ń jà tí Fúlàní tí kò wá gbogbo kiri àmọ́ àjẹ́ ní parọ́ fún yẹn ọ̀gá mi lójú pé bóyá omi tí ó ń jẹ́ ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí òkú ọ̀nà tí mo ní fún bàbá ni pé ṣé irú àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ how do you tọ́ba rí response ẹ̀yẹn báwo lẹ ṣe rò pé èèyàn lè máa handle irú àwọn èèyàn tó sì ń bèèrè dènà èrò ìgbà.
ok máa jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ máa gbọ́ lórí system yẹn lọ sà.
tó lè ọ̀rọ̀ ló máa yí wọn lọ́kàn padà láì tí ìgbà tí mo ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ a mọ̀ pé a ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó yẹ pé àti jẹ àti mu náà rò wọn ò rọjọ́ iwájú. so wọn ò tí ì réyàn bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ ni torí a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí bá àwọn èèyàn sọ̀rọ̀ láti ẹ̀ńbẹ́lẹ̀ irú àwọn tó dàbẹ̀ pé wọ́n wà ní ẹgbẹ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ń ṣe their so-called politics they will soon find that they have no bottom. They are just floating in the air. And I'm very sorry for a lot of them. They will find that nǹkan ti ṣí kúrò ńlẹ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ politics kọ́ ló wà ńlẹ̀ mọ́ sí ọ̀rọ̀ the dissolution of the country. And I'm ready to go on a discourse with any leader of government anywhere in the world, even Nigeria. And I'll tell them, if they will allow me to create Ajibandele in Europe, and if then I will say then Nigeria should stay. I don't know if you understand what I mean by bringing Germans and Italians and
yes.
French together.
Baba, we have a call. Baba, we have a call. Let's answer this call. Egbon soke sir. Hello sir. Egbon soke baba wa.
Mo kí yín púpọ̀ because mi ò mí ìṣẹ́ náà many time mi ò pè jẹ́ mo kí ẹ mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ gan-an.
Yes sir.
Fún gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe àti bàbá wa tó gbé wá sí àgbo lálẹ́ yìí.
Yes sir.
I'm calling from Paris. Mo rí báwọn èèyàn ò pè ọ̀la ni mo ní mo fẹ́ pè tẹ́lẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Pé gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n ń sọ ó dàbí pé wọ́n update àwa ni to refresh us pẹ̀lú lítù táwa kọ́ nígbà tí à ń lọ school tó yé èmi náà lè sọ pé ọmọ bàbá ni mo jẹ́ àbí àwa náà ti ń dàgbà díẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ọmọ la jẹ́ sí wọn mo kí wọn. Nísìnyí èyí fi wá pé gbogbo nǹkan táwa náà kà ní history wa wọ́n tún wá fi di refresh wa. Àti àjò yìí sí àwa náà ti ń lọ ní age bá ṣe kéré. Bàbá wa ẹ bá yí kíní yẹn sílẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ẹ yí sílẹ̀ lẹ́yìn. Ṣùgbọ́n títí tí wá sí ìjà yìí báwọn bàbá wa ṣe jà sílẹ̀ tó ń fún àwọn bàbá tó bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lálẹ́ yìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà làwa náà máa jà á. Àmì òní kankan lẹ́yìn omi mọ́ wáyò.
No, mo mí pé nǹkan tó ń sọ̀rọ̀.
Kò sí pé a máa bẹ̀rù. Lágbára
náà
a fi inú sọnù gbogbo yìí tí ó bàjẹ́ díẹ̀ ní ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá Europe táwa ti dá sílẹ̀ níbí yìí tí a ti ní tó ti mú ìdílé ńgbà kan ohun àyédè ṣédè ló jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ́lẹ̀ à ń try láti pé ká tó padà wá ń sìn torí wọ́n ní àwa tí wàá ń bí ìsìn mo ti wà ń bí o ti ń tó bí 40 years ó ti pẹ́ gan. ṣùgbọ́n àjò náà ni ilé nílé.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà.
tábà lọ ilé tí n bá rí bọ́wọ́ ṣe ṣe gbogbo Oǹdó Ìlàjẹ tó jẹ́ tiwa àti Èkó ibi tó ń bèbí sí a máa ń sunkún ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ọmọ ti ń dàgbà tó bá yẹ pé àwa náà máa kú sí a máa kú sí ni kò ní dáa bó ṣe ń lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe rí àwọn màmá wa àwọn bàbá wa àwọn àbúrò wa àtàwọn tó ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn kò ní dáa so bó ṣe máa rí kò sọ̀rọ̀ àjò àwọn náà máa rí gbogbo àwọn ìbò àwọn á rí 100 lé tó ń bọ̀ yìí ṣùgbọ́n àti kéde tó táwọn dẹ̀ máa ṣe a máa kọ́kọ́ bá àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n wa kan a máa bá wọn jà náà ni torí tá a bá jẹ oúnjẹ tí kò pọ̀ fún mu tára bá fẹ́ pọ̀ a máa pọ̀ lẹ̀ ni tó a ti bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ àti rí wọn àti gbọ́wọ́ wọn àti jókòó gbọ́ mo tẹ̀lé pé kó lè dáa a gbọ́dọ̀ wojú ara wa ni a gbọ́dọ̀ má bẹ̀rù bó ṣe ní
ẹ ṣeun
láti wá sí gbogbo wọn sọ́ọ̀tì tó lè jírí bẹ́ẹ̀ pé tí wọ́n nìkan làwọn ń rò ní wo àwọn ọmọ tó ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn kò ní dáa mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín.
ẹ ṣe gan ni sà.
máma bèrè ìbéèrè lọ́wọ́ yín lọ́la.
no problem at all sà ẹ ṣe mo pẹ́ o.
ẹ tó lọ ẹ bá.
wọ́n máa gbọ́ lọ́dọ̀ wọn lọ́hùn wọ́n máa gbọ́ lórí fóònù ẹ máa sọ tí yín lọ.
tẹ́ bá tún fi àpéjọ àwọn Europe ẹ ti kọ́ tẹ̀ ọ́.
ẹ máa sọ wọ́n máa gbọ́ lórí system wọn wọ́n máa gbọ́ lórí ibi tí wọ́n ti ń gbọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀.
wọ́n bá tún pe ìpéjọ àwọn Yorùbá sí Europe tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ kí n bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ mo yọ̀dára mi bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ mo rẹ́dì.
mo sọ pé wọ́n gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe sọ yẹn.
torí àwọn ti Amẹ́ríkà náà ti ń sọ pé mo gbọ́dọ̀ wá sí Amẹ́ríkà láti wá ṣe meeting pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn wa lọ́hùn. We are planning that too. Because the message has to be carried. We need to bring our collective souls to become one. Iṣẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ mọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ àwa tájọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá. It's not about only talking with one voice, but seeing with one voice, seeing with one, two eyes of multiple, talking and breathing the same air of freedom. That we are emerging to the gracious race and level for which all other peoples of the world see us. Táwa ò rí. Large number of people náà ń fi owó kọ́ èdè Yorùbá àti àṣà Yorùbá tó kì í ṣe Yorùbá. Because they see strength in the Yorùbá race. But táwa ò rí. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa ń bẹ̀rù. To ogun wo ló fẹ́ dé. The scenario is this. Èmi àtàwọn kan ti play way back in the 90s. The army is going to disintegrate when it comes eventually, and everybody will go back to his homeland. What is going to happen is that a few of them will have a schism and kill each other, and then the rest of them are Damburu Baka, Oloshini, and then Awibo Asotimo. Are they the same? An army that does not have its own, except that they are forced to obey the last order. And even the last order is not obeyed. Ogundipe was shown by a private. Some of you remember, a private refused to take orders from Ogundipe, Brigadier Ogundipe. He said, I will only take orders from my own kind. Is that an army that is going to face us? We should be ready to ridicule them. And what is happening in the Boko Haram thing? They will send certain officers to go and be fighting, and their own will stay in the background. And when they see that certain officers are about winning, they start to betray the movement of certain officers to Boko Haram, and our boys are killed. That's one of the things that Kuti was court-martialed for raising his voice, and many others. And even the young girl that was killed was accused of being too expert. That's a fact. They want to hide the truth. The truth will never be hidden.
True.
Have they made any case out of it now?
No.
Yet we are all keeping quiet. He was an expert in his field, a first-class graduate in physics. He was killed like a chicken. No, we can no longer take all this.
Thank you very much,
Those of
Baba.
us who are not waking up to this reality, please wake up. Our souls and the souls of the departed are crying. The Yoruba race has to re-emerge.
Amen. Amen.
Or else.
Thank you, Baba. I really appreciate that. Until tomorrow, when we see Baba on the program again, I'm going to take over the show now so that we can discuss some other few things that we need to discuss,
Okay.
and then we take it there. Daddy, thank you very much. I will see you tomorrow by the grace of God.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
We've been having a big word with Baba Alex Ajala, who has been feeding us with all the things that we need to know that will make a big difference in our life. I cannot thank Baba enough, because it's not easy to bring an elderly man who is 74 out of his bed at this time of the night. He was with us late last night, and today again he's with us late again. We want to thank Baba for a very good way of providing all the necessary information to you. And fún wa mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń bá wo ètò náà láti Yorùbá, màmá wa Tóyìn Àkábà, Odùsànyà Bọ́lá, Bami Talks TV, Assis Ọlálékan, bàbá wa Adéwálé Ọláògùn, Ọlátúnjí Babátúndé, Elizabeth Samuel, Dúpẹ́ Alábí, Lánrè Mátúwò, ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo yín àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí mi lè dárúkọ bí TV for Yoruba, TV for Yoruba, mo ti bá wọn change orúkọ yẹn. Mama wa Sam Giwa, ẹ̀yin náà ẹ kú ìgbádùn àsìkò yìí. Àǹtí mi Ọládìméjì, ẹ kú gbogbo ẹ̀ kó ba lè dáná ní. Mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo yín. Olúwaṣemílóore Olúṣọlá, ṣé gbogbo iṣẹ́ àlàáfíà lẹ́wà gbogbo líńkọ́, ẹ ṣé gan ni. Odùduwà has arrived. Pius, Nurudeen Akànní Olókọ, àánú ni mo rí gbà, màmá wa ṣe dáadáa lẹ́wà. Ọládìméjì Adémọ́lá Tóyìn Ọládìméjì Winobo, ẹ kú ìfọmọnìyàn ṣe, ẹ kú àdúrótì, nítorí pé mo ṣe máa ń sọ ní gbogbo ìgbà tí ó bá kú sẹ́yìn kò sí àwa, nítorí pé àjọ ń ṣe ni. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa Francis Jimoh Adamson láti ìlú Amẹ́ríkà, Terry Ọmọládé Tèmítọ́pẹ́, Tèmi ẹ̀yin lẹ́kọ́ṣíà, Latif Sulaiman, ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́, ẹ kú àbáṣejọ ń ṣe. Adébísí Àgòrò, Olúwakẹ́mi Adélẹ́yẹ, mọ́mi wa ẹni bínú sí mi ni o, ẹ̀yin náà lẹ gbéṣẹ́ lé mi lọ́wọ́, ó yẹ kí n ti pè yín, ṣùgbọ́n ojoojúmọ́ mo ní máa pè yín, ọkàn mi máa ń fò ní nítorí pé tí n bá ti lè jókòó sídìí iṣẹ́ báyìí a máa ṣe títí gbogbo àkókò máa fi lọ ni. The Ọmọlúwàbí t-shirt package is still ongoing. If you want to promote Yoruba Nation, you need to speak out to more people. Talk to them. If you want an easy way to start conversation, t-shirt might be a better one, especially if you have a beautiful one. And Heritage and some other group of people are making beautiful t-shirt. If you can make t-shirt, please make it. It creates awareness. Heritage is called the dashi. It creates a lot of awareness. It saves us from paying for billboard, because ayagbuguama the billboard, especially if the clothes are beautiful, like the one we're making here. Some are made with stones, the writing on with stones. Like this Yoruba Nation now is written in stone. Yoruba Nation, stone lafikoye. Normally the Omoluabi one and doesn't have Yoruba Nation at the top, it just have Oriolokun and proud to be Yoruba. I am very proud to be Yoruba, and I will always be proud to be a Yoruba man. I want to thank you. The Oriolokun on the shoulder is still ongoing as well, which is that one there, Oriolokun on the shoulder. So because of people saying this is heavy, it's good when it's cold. We have a light one of this one. It's a little bit different from this one, but we have a lighter one of this one as well, and some other ones as well. So if you think it's something you want to do, please, the number to call is the +44 734 123 4560. Not that one. +44 734 123 4560 is the number to call for T-shirt. If you want T-shirt, it's on WhatsApp. Please, it's on WhatsApp. You won't get that number on a normal call, so you need to use the WhatsApp for that one if you want that one. If you want to talk to me about anything whatsoever, anything that you think you want to talk to me about, please give me a call as well. Please, tomorrow don't call me before 10 o'clock. I will still be in bed because I've been up since the early part of this morning and I'm getting tired. I really need to go to bed. The HBP, ABBA remedy for HBP is still going strong. Please contact me if you think you want that. And Baba Ajala is not the Ajala Travel. Baba Ajala is called Alex Ajala. Momiwa Oluwa Fumilola Adejobi Abel Ekudede Askui. Oye ketireru yigba na pe mo ni eru kan tí mo ye send sí. Thank you, Daddy Ajala, for the great information. God bless you, sir. Yoruba Nation Now. That is from Evangelist, Lady Evangelist Grace Dada, Prophetess Grace Dada. I hope you've managed to enjoy yourself so much on this program with all this information that is being pumping out to all of us. I want to thank you all that you've stayed with me on this program today. I really appreciate your time. Iṣẹ́ wà tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣe iṣẹ́ wà kí n ṣe pé anytime lè ṣe wájú kò tí mi lórí show yìí is because of the love you have for Yoruba Nation. Ìfẹ́ yẹn náà ní agbára Ọlọ́run ló máa jẹ́ ká gba Yoruba Nation ní kíákíá. Until tomorrow, when I come your way again tomorrow, I will be back with you. On Sunday, we are starting a program called Ifa Olokun Asorodayo. Ifa Olokun Asorodayo. We will get to understand àwọn nǹkan tó wà nínú Ifá. I am not an Ifá person. I'm an apostle. I'm a Bible person. But I see a lot of similarities between Ifá and Bible, especially the Bible one that are talking sense and talking truth. Àwọn tó gbé Bíbélì tó ń ṣòótọ́ kì í ṣe àwọn tó ń gbé Bíbélì torí ebi. Àwọn tó ń gbé Bíbélì nítorí òótọ́ ti Jésù Kristi. Ọmọ aládé àlàáfíà tó kọ́ wa. I've seen some people. Mommy wa Grace Dada, Prophetess Grace Dada, wọ́n bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ni. I see Christ in her. I see Christ in her. You understand? Because the Bible does not allow us to criticize others. No, the Bible didn't allow us to do that. And I don't know why some people we disagree with other religions. You can put the cross in front of you, but you don't want to put the real look in front of you. Cross is just a representation of Jesus Christ. The Orulokun is the representation of God. Right? Do you know why they put it there for you? The Exodus. Do you know why they put Exodus 20? They know how to do it. But can I tell you one thing? I really want to tell you one thing. There's a Ifa, there's a verse in Ifa tó ní ẹyẹ tó ń fò tí ò lápá. Ẹyẹ tó ń fò tí ò lápá. Ẹyẹ tó ń fò tí ò lápá tó ń gbéyàn láti ìlú kan lọ sí ìlú kejì. Ifa, look at how long. And Ifa dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ẹyẹ kan máa dé tó máa fò tí ò ní lápá. Kí lẹyẹ tó ń fò tí ò lápá tó dẹ̀ ń gbéyàn láti ìlú kan lọ sí kejì? Ẹ jẹ́ kí a ronú sí àwọn kan wọ̀nyí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tọ́ lọ́nà tó dáa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe dáadáa. Gbogbo nǹkan téèyàn lè máa ṣe láyé yìí kí wọ́n ṣe dáadáa ni. Kí wọ́n ṣe rere kó dẹ̀ ṣe òótọ́ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Ìyẹn ló ń jẹ́ pé èèyàn ní Ọlọ́run nínú ayé èèyàn. Nítorí pé téèyàn bá lóun sin Ọlọ́run, èèyàn ní Ọlọ́run nínú ayé èèyàn. Tí ò bá ṣe òótọ́, kò sọ Ọlọ́run ayé ènìyàn. kò sí ayé Ọlọ́run nínú ayé ẹni yẹn bí bàbá ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ àmàlà lálẹ́ yìí ọkàn mi kàn lọ sọ́dọ̀ Èbúté Mẹ́ta restaurant gara ni pé ilẹ̀ ti ṣú jù láyé níṣẹ́ ló yẹ kí n order àmàlà láti Èbúté Mẹ́ta restaurant kí wọ́n á deliver fún mi kí n jẹ́ kí n wá lọ wábì kan sùn sí bóyá kí n fi Guinness kan tẹ̀ bó dẹ̀ jẹ́ mu funfun wá deliver pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ni kí n wábì kan lọ sùn sí kí n gbádùn ẹ̀ mímí the only thing tí mi ní ṣe ni pé mi lè ní kẹ́ ẹ má mu sìgá gbé mi ò mu sìgá mi ní mu sìgá bọ́ mo lè jẹ àmàlà yẹn especially àwọn ẹja tútù bí àwọn ẹja tó tútù gan tilapia kan gbèsè bẹ́ẹ̀ kì í ṣe tán ti dín o wọ́n lè yan kó bá dùn jẹ ṣùgbọ́n kì í ṣe dídín kán bá mi ṣe kán pákéjì ẹ̀ kán dìlú ẹ̀ fún mi nǹkan tó máa jẹ lọ́la ni mo sọ fún yẹn. The solution are right to determine Ìṣọ̀kan collective soul of departed to become victorious in strength, reignite Yoruba race to the greatness by dissolution of the project 1999 constitution as amended. Thank you, my sister Twin Oladimeji. You know, busy. You know, if you see me during the day, how much I have to do, you pity me. So, the number for T-shirt, I'm going to show it here now. Please, this is what we use in funding some of the things we do. I'm funding the Nigerian one as well. If you want to support Dada at the messenger talked about in the Bible, number 6, sent to bless the people of the earth. Call them the Lufu of Amala. Please don't go for tilapia. Go for arrow fish. Which one is arrow fish? Oh, me to boy area. It was also arrow fish, eh? E sha tún mú orúkọ wá. E wo e bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n kí ló ń jẹ́ arrow fish? Èmi ò mọ arrow fish o. Torí èmi gan sá fún màálù London. Torí àwọn nǹkan tí Fúlàní lè ṣe wọ́n lè lọ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí export to màálù tán ti bá sùn láti di màálù tí ọkùnrin bá màálù sùn. Mo tún rí fọ́tò kan náà tí màálù ń tọ́ téèyàn kan wẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀. With ẹ̀fọ́ rírò abẹ́fọ́ ẹlẹ́gùsí. Guys, please don't talk about food though. Don't make me go hungry. We don't get that in Belgium. Okay, we get it in London. We get so much in London, my sister. I can assure you that. Guys, that is the number there. Please, I will hang around for the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes. If anybody wants to talk to me. Arrow is fresh catfish. Arrow ni ìlàjẹ máa ń pè. Broda mi láti Spain. Abẹ́ mọ̀ pé mo mọ̀ pé yẹn ni broda mi láti Spain. Ẹ kú dédé àwòyí àsìkò yìí. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà lórí ìkànnà pẹ̀lú mi. Ọlọ́run adúrótì. Wọ́n ní kẹ́ bá mi tẹ like o. Bóyá kò tẹ́ lè get like tó 159 yìí àwa 100 làwà lórí show yìí ní orí YouTube. Bóyá lè get here up to 100 as well. Thank you very much, everybody. Until tomorrow, when I come your way again, if you want T-shirt, just send me T-shirt. If you want whatever you want, just send it to me. Some people has called me. I don't know whether they want to get involved with the program. I'm so sorry, but that's too late now. But I will try and call you in a minute so that we can see. I can hear what you want to say. You know, I will not ignore any one of you. I love you with the love of God and Oduduwa Nation. Ní agbára ọba Elédùà Adúró òmìnira adé. Mo kí gbogbo yín pé ó dàárọ̀. Ká jí láyọ̀ àti àlàáfíà o. Ó dìgbà.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the newly formed Ududuwa Nation.